Good morning, 2A. So today for math, we are going to continue talking about area and some more practice on finding area of shapes. So I'm going to share a vocab card so we can review what area is. So remember, the area is the inside measurement of a figure in square units. So we're measuring how many square units are inside a figure. And as we saw yesterday, sometimes these figures might be squares or rectangles, and other times they might be a little bit trickier. They might have half of a square in them or triangles, and sometimes they might be different size shapes. So today we're going to practice finding the area of some different sized shapes. So I'm going to share my online GeoBoard with you. So as you can see, I've already made some shapes on my GeoBoard. And up here in my corner, I drew a four peg square to remind us that this is 1 unit of measurement. So when I'm measuring, this is 1 unit. So to figure out, remember, if you print it, you can always draw these in, or you can count in the spaces between the pegs. But I can draw in squares to count how many squares or units the area of each shape is. So this rectangle I know is 1, 2, 3 units. So I'm going to write that. Oops, I'm going to move this over a little bit. There we go. I'll draw a line here, and this one is 3 units. Now, I'm going to move on to this one over here because this one looks a little easier than this tricky shape up here. So I am going to divide up this into squares so I can count a little bit easier. Great. Now I'm going to count the area of this shape. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is 10 units. Because they're all squares, so I was able to count these easily. Now we're on the trickier one. So I'm going to see how many squares I can divide this into and how many of them are not going to work. Okay. Oopsies. So I divided this shape up and I only see 2 squares. So I have all these half ones. So I know that these together are going to make 3. And then I have this half. So the way I would write this, and I'm going to draw a big line all the way over here, is I would write 3.5 units. Because that last one over in the corner here doesn't have a partner. This one over here doesn't have a partner. So I don't have another one to make it an even number of, or a whole number, I should say, of units. So it's 3.5 units. So this was a little bit of a review from yesterday. And today what we're also going to do is we are going to be working on writing equations for this. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So now we're going to be writing equations for these. So I'm going to use an equation to help me show how I got my answer. So for this one, I divided, and really I just counted 1, 2, 3. So what do you think my equation would look like for this first shape? Yeah, I counted by 1. So I would do 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. Now for this shape over here, does anyone remember how I counted this shape? I counted by 2s. So I had 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 2 plus 2 plus, oopsies, that's not really a plus sign, is it? 2 plus 2, this is very difficult to write, plus 2 equals 10. Now, if you remember multiplication from way back when we worked on it a little bit at the beginning of the year, you could also write this as a multiplication sentence. Remember, I'm going to take the number I have, so I have 2 is the number I'm counting by, and then I'm going to count how many 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 times 5 also equals 10. So the multiplication is a just right choice. So if you are somebody that the addition comes very quick for you, then maybe you want to try multiplication. But if multiplication is too difficult and it would make you frustrated, then remember, make sure that you're choosing something that's not going to frustrate you, but still give you a little challenge. So for most of you, that's probably going to be the addition. Now this shape is a little tricky because we did some funky counting here. So I am going to look at this and I'm going to look, okay, so I did 1 plus 1 because I did those first two full ones. Then I did 1/2. Then I added, oops, that's a 2. And then I added that other half here because these were both halves to get 3. And then I added that last half to get 3.5 units. Oops, let's see if I can fit that in here. Now, this is why I recommend that you do the area part before the equation, because this is really some end of third grade, beginning of fourth grade math. So if you hadn't calculated the area first, then adding this in your head would have been really tricky. So that's why we did the area first, and then we just thought about our thinking, and we used what we thought to write our equations. So I'm going to show you what your activity is for today. So today you're going to be working on these Find the Area recording sheets. Now you'll notice at the top it says page 1 of 4. You are not doing 4 pages. There are only 2 pages on here. So don't be worried if you don't see all 4 pages. I am not giving you 4 pages of math today. You're just doing 2. If you can print these out, that's great. If not, just write them on a separate piece of paper. But you'll notice the directions are a little different from yesterday. They want you to find the area of each shape below and write at least one equation to show how you found your answer. So we're going to do the first one together. And I think I can annotate on this. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to divide this first into squares. Now, without even counting this, I can tell that there's 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So 4 plus 4 equals 8. So I know there's 8 units. So what would my equation be? Think about what I just said in my thinking. If you need to rewind the video and go back and listen to me again, you can. But what would my equation be for this one? Yeah, all I said is I knew there were 4 on the top, and I knew there were 4 on the bottom, and I knew that 4 plus 4 equaled 8. So there is my equation. If you count by twos, you could also do 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. Or if you want to get super fancy and super challenging, you could say 2 times 4 equals 8. But again, you only have to write 1 for each. So you're going to figure out the area in units and give at least one equation for these problems. I'm going to clear my drawing so I can scroll. So you're going to do it for these ones. There's 8 on the first page, and then on the second page, there is another 8. If you run into problems with the triangles, go back in the video to where we are doing the GeoBoard, because that is where I'm explaining how to do triangles and write those equations, because that does get a little tricky. If you have any questions or you have any problems, send me a Dojo message or an email and I will get back to you. Have a great Tuesday, everyone, and I will talk to you soon.